Hi guys, back for another video. And in this video I wanted to sort of talk about the importance of having a plan within match betting. So when you first start match betting, it's really easy to go through the sign-up offers. You don't really need a plan. You kind of go just from one offer to the next offer to the next offer, and it's really straightforward. You're getting these big offers, you're making some nice money. Everything's great. It's a good place to be. But then as you move on to like reload offers and ACCAs and things like that, I think you need to have more of a plan in place. Because I think you need to get a bit more creative in terms of where to find the profits. I mean, there's plenty of profit to be taken, but I think you kind of just need to make sure that you're focusing in the right areas so that you're maximizing your time. So one of the things that I do is I've spoken about this before in another video is having a spreadsheet. So this is just a mock spreadsheet. This is not actually my spreadsheet. But having a spreadsheet for like where you are with offers, so how much you've got in your bankroll, how much you've got in your bank, how much you've got in bookies, and kind of what state it's in, whether it's like a withdrawal or whether it's in a bet. And same with reloads as well, having this kind of spreadsheet. I've talked about this in a different video, so I won't go into this too much. But the other thing that I do is obviously set reminders. I mentioned that as well. But I also keep lists. So I've got this application that I use here, and I use this literally through my entire life, really. So it's kind of like a to-do list, but you can add obviously more in-depth stuff. So we're getting a bit meta here. So like on this one, for example, I've got a YouTube category, and one of them is a video idea to do a video about keeping organised in match betting. And then within there, I can provide these notes. So, for example, like talk about using a spreadsheet. So we've done that. Setting alarms and and notes in Wunderlist. Well, we're doing that. The other thing is like having a plan. Well, we've kind of mentioned that, and I think with having a plan, I think that's kind of, for me, that's like having a target. So that's kind of like saying, right, today I want to make £10. So like, if you're just starting out with match betting, then I think keeping the target realistic, because if you're going to set a stretch goal, then it's just going to get really tiresome when you just keep constantly missing it every day. So I think it's good to have a target, but I think you've got to be prepared that you might not hit it, and it's fine not to hit it. I think it's the process of just trying to reach for it that's important. So if you've got a target of like £10 a day, I think really you don't need to think too much about what you can do with the money. So like if you're trying to build up a pot, say if you're trying to get to like, I don't know, a couple of grand for your match betting pot, and you're at say £500, I think it's a mistake to sit there and think what you could do with that £500. I think you just kind of need to look at that as a bankroll and as a tool almost to make more money. You don't need to sort of think about it in terms of, I could go out and buy an Xbox or something with this money. I think that's a mistake to think like that. So I kind of just look at it as credits. It's the same with cryptocurrencies as well. I've got quite a few bits in crypto, and with that, I just kind of look at that as a side pot. I don't really consider that money at all. I just literally leave it there, and I never think about what I could buy with it because it's an investment. I don't want to tempt myself to take the money back out of it. So that's kind of what I wanted to say with sort of like setting targets, profit per day. Don't think about the money in terms of what you can do with it. Just use it to build up a pot. And then the other thing that I really recommend is setting up a separate bank account, like a completely separate bank account for this, because I've got my main account, which has got like all the family bills and stuff in that go in and out, and my salary from my full-time job goes into there. And then I've got a separate bank account for my match betting stuff. And the funny thing is I've got all these bets coming in and out. It's with NatWest, my second account, and I've got all these bets coming in and out from various different places. Like money's moving around all the time, but my bank hasn't yet called me and said, "Hang on, what's happening here?" I was kind of expecting a call from the fraud team, but it's not happened yet. But yeah, so be prepared for that as well. That might happen. But also with this tool, with something, this is called Wunderlist, by the way, if you're interested. But with something like Wunderlist, You can just set up categories for pretty much everything. So like I've got one here for match betting. So what I've got is like I've got today, for example, I've got free bet £5 coming from Sky Bet Club. Remind me at 7 o'clock tonight. Boyle Sport. Same with William Hill. And then also I've got these recurring daily things that I've set up. So like today's target, I want to basically place enough sort of this morning, lunchtime and tonight to basically make £20 just today. So that's my target for today. Now, if I hit that, great. If I don't hit that, I'm not bothered. It's fine. I'll just check it off and I'll move on. It's the act of trying to reach for that goal that's the important part. And I think that's where makes it a little bit easier when you're match betting to kind of say, you know, I'm going to make this per month by breaking it down into a day. And then I've got things like check my email. So I get absolutely spammed with like email offers all the time. And I think it's really easy to dismiss the email offers purely because when you're with something like OddsMonkey, you kind of you're kind of waiting for permission almost to place those bets with OddsMonkey, and you won't do it until you see them. But if you get an email and you see some profit there, then you know you need to kind of jump on that. And then I've also got like another one which is writing a blog post. So I've recently started blogging. I've got like my little blog post here which talks about sort of like, you know, getting into match betting. I guess it's kind of a newbie article, but it's the only post on my blog. So I've literally got one blog post. So my aim is to basically write a blog post every day. So that's basically it, guys. That's all I wanted to talk about, is just the importance of planning and setting targets and setting sort of stretch goals. But if this video has been helpful, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.